night. The next tune I'm going to make very easy and very quick because it's a great story, and it's a tune you all know. That's the story. That's the story right there. Where does it finish? Very good. It's a fascinating story, and I'll make it quick. Sorry about this, but what can we do? Okay, not my water. Okay, so what happened? What's the story for HavaNagila? Why is it a good story? HavaNagila is... All right, there's no red herring. This is a Jewish tune. Don't worry. This is not a Romanian tune. It's not a Czech tune. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's a Jewish tune. It's 100% kosher Jewish tune. It's a Hasidic nigun. You can't get better than it. HavaNagila is originally, yes, a legitimate Jewish tune. Originally, it would have gone like this. Yum boy, die 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 die, die 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 die, die die. There was some Hasidim from East Europe. They used to sing it like this. That's how it goes. So how did it become HavaNagila? It's a fascinating story.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Does that translate into anything?
Yabby bubby? What? Does what? Sorry. No. Oh yeah, I'm coming to,
Okay.
Oh, good, excellent question. But trying to hold your questions for later maybe, because I'm coming to this. Very good, no, that's great, good question, and the answer is yes, I'm coming to that, very good. Originally it was a nigun, a Hasidic nigun means there's no words. The Hasidim like to sing nigunim, which means just melodies, and they just like to sing. So when I sang Yam Bai, that's the original words. The original words are Dai 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 Dai. That's the words. Dai 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 Dai. So how did it become HavaNagila? In the early 20th century, there was a famous scholar and teacher called Idelson, Abraham Tzvi Idelson. He became the great expert of Jewish music world, the #1 professor. He ended up a professor in New York, and he wrote books, thousands of books. Great scholar. But how did he learn so much about Jewish music? He did something very clever. He went to live in Jerusalem in the early 20th century. And he listened. He went to every shul. He went to the Hasidic shul. He went to the Romanian shul. He went to the Libya, there's Jews, yeah, they have a phenomenal Tunisian shul, the Tunisian nusach, phenomenal. If you want to really be an expert in Jewish music, you better go to Tunisia. Syrian, each one of those had a little shtibel in Jerusalem. So he didn't have to travel the world. All he had to do was go around the corner to the next shul. And I got news for you. I did the same here in Toronto. In Toronto, we're very fortunate. I haven't been so many places around the world. But I once went up to the Moroccan shul up in Thornhill on Steeles. And I spent a night there. They were singing the old Moroccan nigunim. And it was phenomenal. And I could go to another shul somewhere else. And I don't have to tell you, Toronto would be Havdil like Jerusalem in those days, where you can go from one place to another and meet Jews from all over the world, all singing their nigunim. So Idelson heard these Hasidim singing this tune. He said, "What a beautiful tune!" Now to make a living, he taught in school. A lot of us teach in school. I used to teach in school. I also taught grade 6. So a lot of people have to teach grade 6 to make a living. So Eidelson taught grade 6. And he said, what should I teach the Kinderlach? I'll teach them this niggin I just heard. Yum, bye, die, die. Then he had a brainwave. He said, maybe they'll pick it up if it has words. So what words can you have? So we thought of some very easy words. HavaNagila. HavaNagila means come, let's be happy. Gila is rejoicing. Gila, simcha. Gila is rejoicing. HavaNagila, let's be happy. HavaNagila. And let's have simcha. Whatever. There's a few more words. So he got his kids to learn this tune, learn this song. He put some simple little words to it, and they all started singing, and then they went home and said, Mommy, I just learned it at school. And the parents said, that's a good song, and they started singing. And within a short while, all the community said, these kids got a beautiful new tune, and they all ended up singing it. And we know what happened next. By the time we finished, the whole world ended up singing HavaNagila. And there's a movie, there's a girl made a beautiful documentary. You may see this it was shown, you may see from time to time this movie, a documentary movie about this. But there's a bit more. One of the kids, there's 2 more quick stories and I'm done. This is an easy one to talk about. One of the kids in the class was called Moshe Nathanson. Moshe Nathanson was a very, very famous cousin. He was active right into the 1970s, 1960s, I don't know. For sure he was in the middle of the 20th century. He was a kid in Eidelson's class. And later on in his life, when he was older, he said, no, I wrote the words. He said, Eidelson, our teacher, said to us, Kinderlach, for your homework, I want you to go home and make up words for this tune. Yum, bye, die, die. So Moshe Nathanson says he went home and he came back the next day and said, teacher, I made up these words. HavaNagila, Hava. And the teacher said, it's terrific, Moshe. Then we'll all sing it. So you see, there was a problem, a copyright problem. Because if there's some money, if there's a lot of people sing a tune, you can claim some copyright. And the trouble is, who actually owns the copyright? Who made those words up? And it was never quite resolved, but I believe that it took years of going backwards and forwards. Moshe Nathanson wrote a book proving it was him, but the experts, the scholars and professors in Hebrew University didn't believe it. And they ended up saying, if we're going to assign a copyright, it has to go to Eidelson. So the end of the story is Eidelson. I have one more story about HavaNagila, then I'll go on to my last tune. The last story I'm going to tell you about HavaNagila is that who was the person who made it super famous was Harry Belafonte. He made it into a super, super hit. And actually, that's why it connects with, I asked you before where it ends, when it should end. Harry Belafonte, when he sang it like this. But all the Jews, like, what's his name, Katz, Mickey Katz, all the Jews who recorded it, they think that's a Jewish ending, that's how it should end it. And I did a study, I got as many recordings as I could, and I came to the conclusion that the Jews wanted to end one way, and the Goyim want to end it another way. And there's a reason, because we have a Jewish scale. If you go to shul, there's a Jewish scale, da 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 dee 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 dee. That's called Fraigish. If you're going to take a course in Chazonas and things like that, you have to know what we mean by Fraigish music, Fraigish scale. See, when you learn music, we have a major scale. I told you before, some of you had trouble with major scale. This is major scale. If you have piano lessons, do, re, mi, fa, it's major. Then you learn minor. La, ti, do, fa, la. But if you're Jewish, you have to know another scale, and that's called Freydish. I always say, like kids, if you have little kids in school, they're going to learn three blind mice. See how they run. That's how we teach music. I used to teach music to little kids, and in order to get their ear attuned to scales, you say three blind mice, three. But if you're Jewish, you have to learn Tatenu. That's a Jewish scale. And Harry Belafonte didn't pick that up. He ended his tune on this note, ba 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 da 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 da, because he thinks that sounds better to him. That's minor. So Harry Belafonte made it very famous, which may be the reason for the following story. I'm going to end the HavaNagila story with this last anecdote. This is a true story. It was told to me by the late Chazan Danto. You will remember Chazan Danto. Chazan Danto told me he was in Russia in the communist era, and he was at a concert. It was a band, and the announcer says, and now we're going to play HavaNagila. He said, oh, terrific, he says. And the announcer says, this is a black folk song which the Jews stole. It's funny, but he was appalled. I mean, when he heard this story and he told it to me, it was a disgrace. The Russians, we've had enough aggravation in Jewish history. When we have a real legitimate 100% Jewish tune, they won't even let us lay claim to our own tune. They're blaming us for stealing it. And he never understood. He thought this was terrible. And I finally realized why that announcer said that, because he heard it in Harry Belafonte's recording. It was that time when Harry Belafonte's recording was a world smash hit. Harry Belafonte said it was bigger than Banana Boat. His other big hit, but you're in the Banana Boat, I'm not going to say Banana Boat. Harry Belafonte made that tune very famous, and the Russians assumed, it was a Jew, without thinking it through, said, of course, it makes sense to us, we know the Jews steal everything, so they must have stole this one too, and it's really waxing. That is my story. Now you know everything you need to know about HavaNagila. And we have a few minutes left. We have a few minutes left, and I promise you a third song.